think the resilience comes from having maybe uncertainty in my everyday life that I kind of
Mhm.
just go with the flow of things. I don't need to feel like I need to control things or things need to be a certain way.
Hi, and welcome to Don't Drink to Feed podcast. This podcast is all about you and all the courageous, driven women like you. We are here to inspire, to empower, to share, and to embrace one another. We will be talking with women from different backgrounds and careers about love, family, friendship, their wins and falls, and what it took for them to live the life they love. I am your host, Claudia Noriega-Bernstein, and I am so happy you're here today. Hi, everyone. I am very excited, as I am always excited, to have my friends in my podcast because it's always a juicy conversation. It's always not scripted, not that it's ever scripted because it would be boring. Life would be boring if things are scripted. But today I have, my friend Heather. And if I read your bio, it will be too formal. She's a mom of three. She's a whisper seeker herself. She has a brand that we're going to talk about. She has a podcast. But I think that what I love about you, Heather, is your take in life and how life give you lemon and you just didn't just make a lemonade. You had an apple pie. Maybe you had a beer, a Corona, or whatever it is that inspired in that moment, but you refused to allow circumstances to decide what kind of day you're going to have. You're always thinking, what's the best I can do to make this day a good day? And that's what I love about you. And right now, the world is a little icky. So I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy that you're going to share your wisdom. And I'm happy that my audience get to meet you. So welcome.
I'm so excited. Let's have a dance party.
Yay!
We can have our apple pie and a dance party.
There you go.
Thank you so much, Claudia. That was a nice introduction. I really appreciate being here with you. And I really appreciate our friendship. And I get so much from having you in my life. It's just an honor. And I feel like the same way I am about things, you are. And that's what's really attracted me to you because you like to eat the apple pie and have the dance party alongside.
Yeah. And I think that's important how we see life. And you have kids, I have kids. And sometimes when we talk to our kids and we see them going nuts about something so little, we want to go and say, dude, don't allow your circumstances to define what kind of a day you're going to have. You're going to look at this situation 3 months from now and you're going to say, I can't believe I wasted so much time on that. And they cannot learn from our experience. They got to have their own experience. And I think that's the hardest part of motherhood.
My middle son came home from school the other day just because he wanted to. And I'm sure there's deeper reasons than that, but he was like, I'm just really annoyed today. So I was like, I will come get you because we've all had those days. And I was like, I've been at work before and I was like, I think I need to go home today. And that doesn't happen very often, but it was just like, I don't think I'm going to be my best version of myself today.
I love that you did that because oftentimes we're conditioned by what society feels is right or wrong, and we don't think what's best for us or what's best for our kids in that moment. We just think this is what we should do because good moms do this. And we didn't have that. And when I say we, you and I mean, we both had moms that challenged us a little bit when we were little, to say the least. And we had to see the bright side of every situation to stay sane and to not grow up with anger and yucky feelings in our heart. And one thing that I love that you said once is things don't have to be hard. Life doesn't have to be hard. So expand a little bit about that.
I just think that because sometimes life can be really heavy and it feels heavy, right? Maybe those are lessons that we all need to learn. I was just kind of writing about that. And I think we get to choose how we want to feel in the day. And I know things can be hard and we can have bad days. And I notice when I have bad days, like as I made an example of leaving work, and then maybe I just figure out why. Sometimes it's because maybe I didn't eat enough, or maybe it's because I need to work out, or maybe I need to talk to a friend. There's all these reasons, and maybe we don't listen to them and we just stay busy and we don't listen. I mean, the one good thing about bringing my son home from school is that he's going to know later in life that he can take care of himself and not always do what we believe that we should be doing. And I told him, I was like, well, I was your age. I missed a lot of school. Well, I missed a lot of school in high school. So it's like, I do think going to school and doing things for the better is important.
Right.
However, I have made it pretty far in my life, getting kicked out of school and not going when I was supposed to. but you can still find a way through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you think taught you that, or who inspired you to be this positive in your life?
I guess, I feel like you and I are a little different in mom situations. I always knew that I was loved, but my mom suffers from substance abuse my whole life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. And I have heard a lot of friends talk about how they didn't feel loved by their mom or seen by them.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel different. And my grandma's very positive. So I bet it's come from her a lot because she sees the brighter side of things.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just me naturally as well. And that's why I like if somebody says something to me, I always just point, like a friend was talking about running. She's like, I don't want to fall again like I did last week. I'm like, but you've already ran thousands of times and you only fell once. So, right. So we just got to get back on that horse or put our running shoes back on and do it because I think it's easy to fall into the trap of not feeling okay. But I think in writing has been a big part of my life.
Yeah, it's
And
so
that
important
saved
to
me a lot.
express that
Yeah.
somehow.
I remember I read my 16-year-old journal a while back and I was like, oh, I was like not happy. I wasn't liking my life. I didn't know what I was doing, etc. So it's like I've had all those feelings, but by the end of the book, it got a little bit better and a little bit clearer. It's not that you have to figure it all out right now. It's always about the next step, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm sure when you were reading that diary, you were feeling very proud of who you were at that time, even though you were not making a lot of the choices that you could be making right now with the experience that you have right now. But at the end of the day, you took charge. You made decisions. You took care of your brother. You didn't just checked out or said, well, I have a mom that has a problem, so that give me a pass to do whatever, right?
Right. And I think the resilience comes from having maybe uncertainty in my everyday life that I kind of just go with the flow of things. I don't need to feel like I need to control things or things need to be a certain way. I can just have all that resilience because things are not always perfect every day.
How
And I
old was
don't,
your brother when
when I left, when I moved out at 17, he was 12.
but
And so
you were taking care of him since he was 5?
pretty much since I was 5, yeah. So, and then because we have two different dads and we had a stepdad. So there's a lot of that in there as well. But I actually, about a year ago, I messaged my brother. I was like, I'm sorry I left you when you were 12 because that's pretty hard. And then he was with my dad a lot. And dad was partying a lot.
Mm. So
Yeah.
he had a whole different experience.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and then
So
go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, no, no.
Oh, yeah. I just had to move out when I was 17 because it was too toxic. There was too much substance abuse growing up, and it was not where I wanted to be. And I already had a job and I was working with my friends and having fun with my friends and stuff. And then the fact that I got kicked out of school and couldn't go to school anymore there, that was another motivated to move because I was like, it's too easy to get a GED. I need to do it. And then that was my motivation. And it was kind of scary. Of course, I missed everybody that first year. It was lonely, even though I was with a roommate. So that's hard to like make a big transition any part of your life, and especially when you're younger. And I feel like that's just who I am. And I guess sometimes I try not to always be like, I need to survive and like live through that. But here I am.
And you're so calm.
That's just naturally me.
You guys
Sometimes I
don't
need
know
a
this.
little.
Heather and I could be talking like last time she was here in Vegas, we were having lunch, and that with that calmness, she's sharing things with me, and they are like, I have clients that share similar things to me, and they're crying, and they're upset, and they're frustrated, and they're angry, and she's just the same tone of voice telling me all these things, and I'm thinking to myself, I want that calmness because number one, I'm Latin, so that doesn't exist in me. So I'm like my dad used to say, you're like a match. You rub it a little bit and go poof, and then it dies out. But in the moment, I'm like, boom. And when I talk to you, it's like, I even have to lower my voice because it's Heather. She's so calm. So, and we all need that Heather in our lives. We all need that person that comes and put things in prospect. And wait a minute, this is not what happened. And I think the beauty of our friendship is that I can feed from you and you can feed from me in any given time. And I want to touch something that we don't talk about it very often, but it's a very important part of that calmness, I think, that you have, and it is forgiveness. You could have grown to become a very bitter, angry, unhappy woman. And yet you decided, no, I'm going to forgive and I'm going to understand and I'm going to take the good that I can take and I'm not going to run with the rest. I'm going to just leave it behind. What is forgiveness for you?
I was kind of thinking about I guess, my story a little bit earlier, but I was like, because sometimes I think growing up and in parts of our life, we feel like people are doing things to us. Right. And I could look at things that way, but it wasn't really to me. Right. But maybe it was, I guess, what people like to say, it's for me. Calmness, I don't know where the calmness comes from. That's just really where I'm grounded. That's why I'm attracted to probably people like you who bring down the energy, who give me a little bit more energy, which is exciting. But I just don't, I think, and I have 3 boys, so I think that's probably really fitting for me as well, because it's very, I was like, and I work in the men's department, so I think a little differently, right? But I don't know. I just don't like to stress out about a lot of things because I feel like that just gives it too much attention. And we don't need the things, if we don't want it in our life, that stress, right? Then we have to let it go. And don't believe me, I do get stressed out about little things, but I'm trying to even let that go. Like the fact that I have to do something around the house or get something done or make it in a timely manner. I'm just like, okay, I can do this. I can schedule time, right? And I was like, oh, I almost got kind of stressed out meeting with you because my son woke up late. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm taking you to work or to school late. I don't know. I'm just very calm in general. And I think that I like to see the bigger picture of things, and things are not always to us, right? And that's got to be a little bit harder when we have stories where we felt like someone hated us our whole entire life, that you're not worthy. And my mom has always said how much she loves me and how proud she is of me. So, I mean, those are big words, but I wish that she can see that why I'm here and why I do What's That Whisper is I wish people can see that in themselves and that they can do the other things that are whispering to them to tell them to do other things. And I think a lot of people hold themselves back and don't listen to the whispers. And yeah, and they say that they're not for whatever reason. And I just see so many people getting stuck in life, no matter where they are, saying these are, or maybe they're listening to the whispers that are wrong, telling them, I'm too old to do this. I can't do this because I'm ugly, or I don't know, just that I've never done this before. Or like my mom she struggles with alcohol now. She's like, okay, I'm clean. And she's like, now I need to worry about my weight. I was like, Mom, just worry about one thing at once, because then you're going to stress your body out and you're not going to be able to do it all at once. Because I even try to improve little things in myself, and then it gets overwhelming if it's not just one thing. Yeah. So if I'm like, I'm going to do it all now too, the whole entire diet, and try to make sure you're working out and make sure you're waking up early, that's just like so overwhelming. I want to take little steps.
That's all we can do. Take little steps and one day at a time. But one thing that I do admire is your capability to forgive her and not take it personal. I think that is a lesson that we all can learn. And it's a process, right? In my process of healing, I have learned also to forgive my mother, to forgive everybody and anybody that had harmed me, and give them the grace they deserve. Because in my eyes, everybody deserve grace. And understanding that they did whatever they did not because they wanted to harm me, but because they didn't know any better. And we are all living life for the first time. We're learning as we're going. And one thing that I love about you too is that you're very open for feedback, and you even ask your kids for feedback. Tell me more about that.
I do. I'm like, is there anything I can do better? Am I too much of a nag? What do you want me to do? Am I bothering you? Like, Mom, you're fine. Like they'll really tell me, but it's like I want them to be able to talk to me about things.
Right.
Yeah. And so I just like I know where I have hiccups, and of course you hurry up, get ready, get ready. And then like I just start to calm down and just be that, because I don't want to put that pressure on them. So it's fun to hear their feedback. It's not that they always have a bunch, but I want them to know that they can talk about it. And my youngest and I have a lot of conversations at bedtime, and we just talk about all kinds of stuff. So it's fun. He's like, thanks for listening.
But I love that because you are you're bringing the bar high.
Yeah.
When they are in another relationship, they're going to expect the same consideration, the same attention, the same presence that you are giving to them, because that's what you are modeling for them. And for me, it's so important to break the conditioning. Doesn't matter how we were raised, doesn't matter what happened to us, not in the sense that it's not important, but it doesn't matter when it comes to pass it down to our kids. We can break that pattern. We can be different parents than what our parents were with us, and create a different narrative with our children. And that's what you're doing with yours.
Yeah, I think, why not? I'm not hard on my kids really, and I kind of let them do whatever they want. And they're actually really good kids. I feel pretty lucky, and they get along really well. It doesn't mean that they all hang out all the time together, but yes, the 2 youngest one are annoyed with each other at times, but that's because they see each other all the time. And I feel like they get along pretty well. So we'll see how that works out later in life, because my brother and I get along pretty well. It's just that
Hmm.
we're in different states. So
Right.
I just always want that for your family to get along with everybody in your family. But
Well, I think that comes with acceptance. And I think that you have mastered that also with your mom. You
yeah,
have accepted who she is. You don't want to change her. It's up to her if she wants to have a different life. At the same time, whatever she's doing, I'm going to make sure it doesn't affect my life. I'm going to protect my life to an extent that I love my mother from far, if I have to love her from far. And when she's close, I'm going to make sure that whatever she does doesn't disrupt the dynamic I have with my family.
yeah. And my husband's family, we all get along pretty much. So that's really nice for my kids to see too. And the kids are always excited to hang out with their aunts. So that's a good thing for them to see. And not everybody has such a big family around, but I think, and then I heard someone talk about what they don't have with a family, right? And then other kids have more, but I'm like, that's not really how we should be looking at things. It's about more like, what do we have? Even if you don't have like a father or a mother and you just have a single parent, you were
Mhm.
a single parent growing up, but it's all about all the things that we do have and that we're getting instead of like, oh, I don't have this and I don't have that. I mean, I had three dads, so that's, and I don't even talk, and I never even talked to my biological dad. So I've maybe a couple times, and he was in and out of my life and then always out of my life.
You are a lineage changer, girl. And I love that because we can all be that if we are living life on purpose.
Yeah. Now that you say that, what's funny is that my grandma had my mom at 17, which I'm glad because she's still around.
Hmm.
And my mom was 19, but when I was young, I was like, I'm going to change that. I'm not going to have a kid so early in my life. Now, right now, I kind of wish it was a little bit earlier so I could be with him longer, but that's just the way it was. I was like, 17 was pretty early to have a kid.
Hi, friends. I have a small favor to ask, and I'm so sorry for the interruption, but this is really, really important to me. As many of you know, Brighter Days was truly a labor of love. I wrote it for every woman who has ever questioned her worth, felt stuck, lost her direction, or needed a reminder of the strength that already lived within her. I am incredibly honored to share that I am a finalist for Author of the Year 2026. If my book, my podcast, my coaching, or anything I have shared has touched your life in any way, I would be so grateful if you vote for me. The voting link is in the description of this show. Every vote matters, and every vote helps me continue spreading this message of hope, healing, and empowerment to more women around the world. Thank you so much for being part of this journey and for believing in me. Your support means more than you know. Now, let's continue helping women remember that they never have to shrink to fit again. Thank you so much, and let's go back to the show. Yeah, but look how different
I
of a
know.
mother you are.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't have a kid at 17, you didn't know what to do, and you probably wouldn't make a lot of the mistakes your mom or your grandmother made because you didn't know any better.
Yeah. But gosh, I'm in my late 40s and my grandma's still around. I mean, that does not happen very often. So I'm really blessed there.
Yeah. And I think a lot has to do with the whispers. Talk to me about the whispers. How do you come up with that? Where all this started?
Well, that's so interesting because I was trying to start to sell something online. And so then it was like, come up with a name. I can't tell you how I came up with what's that whisper, but maybe before that, I started writing down a bunch of quotes that I like that I would hear people say or from wherever. So I have a long list of those. And then I was like, okay, I can start selling this product or this product. And I was like, I don't want to have more stuff in my house. So that's why I started doing the print on demand, which is t-shirts, hoodies, mugs,
Uh-huh.
because that way I don't have to have the product in my house. That's and then I could put all those affirmations that I came up with that I wrote down if they're legally, because some of them are trademarked, but I could put them on shirts, and then those could be somebody's whisper that they wear for the day to remind them of like how strong we really are.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. And I will have the description in the description of the show, her link, so you can order them because they're not only cute, but they're very insightful. And why not spread that love in the world and walk around with something that is going to inspire somebody else when they read it? Or I had a couple of things that I have got from you, and I give it to my daughters. And when they wear it, people ask them, where did you get that? They don't understand. It's a unique piece because you order
Yeah.
them every time they want it. But it is beautiful to have that around, to look at somebody and see something beautiful written in their t-shirt or in their sweatshirt or in their mug because there is a lot of ugly out there.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's a simple reminder too. And To be honest, Claudia, I didn't think I was going to start a podcast or be on here with you. I just thought I'd be behind the scenes selling product. And the work that I've done the last couple of years on myself, wow, it's amazing that I'm here with you. And that's kind of what I share on my podcast. Like, oh, here's all the thoughts that I've had that I shouldn't be on here, right? So, and besides my interviews and stuff, but I just want to inspire other people to do the same, that we need to not listen to the negative whispers and to listen to something that inspires us and just encourages us to step out of our comfort zone. And it wasn't easy. It took me plenty of recordings that I never produced, right? But I was like, what do I want to talk about? My story? That sounds kind of depressing, but it's not really. You want to make it more, but you want to make it more inspiring, right? Not to
Right.
make people feel bad for you. So, but that took me a little while and I'm still doing it. And it's been over a year. And I think that I'm really proud of myself because I have a full-time job and the 3 kids and all the things that go with it and all the friends I want to hang out with. And I'm just making it happen. And definitely during the holidays, I was like, I just want to give up on everything. This feels stressful. This feels like too much. But I kind of just let myself take a break. And that's been really important. I feel like yesterday I was like, oh my gosh, there's momentum back in me. And the energy that you have, I was starting to feel in me. So that's really exciting. But and today I was like, maybe I should start running. I'm not a runner, just so you know, I'm a walker.
But it's
Yeah.
very inspiring that you started when you started it because there is
Yeah.
no age. And if somebody's listening right now and has an idea and is thinking, oh, I'm in my 40s or I'm in my 50s or whatever age you are, there is no age. You just start when you have that, when you hear that whisper,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That it's time. This is what
Yeah.
you should be doing and really follow it, not push it down, not forget about it, not saying maybe next year, because we really don't know if we're going to be here next year. We don't. We only have right now. So if you have that calling, I want to encourage you to just follow that. Follow that whisper, follow that intuition, that voice inside your head that is telling you, I think you should be doing this, or this is something that would make you happy, and go for it. You never know what's going to be the result. Like you, in 2 years, 2 years ago, you didn't know you were going to have a podcast. 2 years, 5 years ago, you didn't know you were going to have a brand. I mean, things happen because we make that first step
Yes.
and it becomes a reality because we make that first step. And you don't have to be ready. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah, and I think you got to work on the overwhelm too. So maybe it's something you write down a bunch of things, and then that's how I was feeling overwhelmed, right? And then you got to maybe start with one or two things and get those off your list.
Hmm.
Because running a business is I'm on technology a lot, and that's not my favorite. I can learn
Hmm.
it, it's great. But eventually I can hand that baton over to someone else. But it's kind of fun learning it. I was like, oh, I learned something new today, even though sometimes I get stuck and it takes hours and days, but whatever. But I'm learning it. So I think we could all learn. And then it's like, you don't, just because you have a business doesn't mean I'm always going to have to do the technology and all the things that I don't love. I'm going to be able to offer jobs for other people or to inspire others. And then I can do all the things that I really love.
Yeah. And that's beautiful. And that's what you do
Yeah.
every.
Every
And
day.
I'm sure that every time, even when you go to your regular job and you have a client that is trying something, you also whisper. You also give them a little bit of your wisdom. That person didn't come to you by coincidence. They came to you for a reason. And I really believe that. I think you and I, even the way we met, we went both to a retreat for a weekend in LA. We happened to be in the same hotel. We happened to bump into each other. You had a car, and suddenly we were the Fab Five, you
Yeah,
know?
we were. That was so fun. It was just like, okay, we're setting our guards down. We're getting to know each other. That is just like, I love that about that.
Such an eclectic group, though.
Yeah. And it's
We
kind of
were,
fun to not know anything about each other because you
yeah,
don't have like, oh, I can't be her friend because she's this or that. There's like no ego and no
no
expectation.
agenda. We have
No.
somebody from the UK. We have somebody, no, where is she?
Australia.
Australia. We have somebody from Canada. Then we have Shanice. We have you and me. We were like from total different parts of the world, totally different background, in a car, driving to grow, driving to heal, driving to get to know each other better. And it was fantastic. And it wasn't planned and it wasn't perfect. And I really have that time, I had it in my heart and I have it in my heart for a long time. And then we reconnected when we went to another retreat. You remember?
And we
Yes.
got back together and we're like, hello, and we have
Yeah.
seen each other once. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, for one time only, for 2 days. And the rapport that we have of each other was incredible. And we are friends for life. I mean, Candace, I talk to her all the time, and you and Shanice, and we are all like part of our lives now. It's like the universe I'm going to put these 5 women in one car.
Yeah.
And that's that.
Thank goodness I rented a car that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the best.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, I should have got a bigger car, but it was the perfect 5, that's for sure.
Yes, it was wonderful, and I'm always going to be grateful that our path crossed and that we got to become friends and that you're in my life because I really look up to you and I really admire how far you have come, not only in your life and with your family, but internally. You
Yeah.
are an inspiration and you are a whisper for everybody that knows you.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like even the more like I grow, I'm just like, I'm just gonna like sometimes you're like, I should just tell everybody what to do and this is how they can fix their life. Not everybody wants you to tell them what to do and they just want you to be heard. So it's like I try to step away, I've stepped away from that role. I mean, that goes with my mom even. I've been doing that for a few years and just like yesterday I wanted to say something and it's so small, guys. But I'm just like, cool, good for you, because it's actually a step in the right direction for her, right? It's not where maybe I would do things, but or someone else. So you just got to let people grow at their own pace. And I think sometimes that's frustrating for somebody. You're like, yes, come with me right now, but they're not ready.
Right.
You know?
But I have learned that when I want to fix somebody, it's because I want to fix myself. We are all mirrors. When something triggers you from somebody else, it's kind of like an exclamation mark to what do you have to look deeper into yourself.
Yeah.
So those are all opportunities. And I hear you, girl. I want to fix a lot of people too.
Yeah, or just have them come with me. Just wear a t-shirt, listen to a podcast. I was like, Mom, listen to this podcast. This is not all just my mom. It's just a really good example for anybody, right? But I'm just like, this might inspire you. And I don't try to be like, this is the podcast or episode I really love. It's just something I feel like somebody else would get from it. That's their flavor. And that's what I do in retail, right? So it's like I find things that other people would like. So I think I'm pretty good at that, right? It's not going to be just some people give gifts and like a presents. And it's like more what they would like for the person, but it's not Claudia's style, right? So I think I can pretty good at thinking about what you would like. So yeah.
It's important to love others the way they receive love.
Yeah.
And we don't always have that, take that in consideration.
Yeah.
But I remember at the beginning of my marriage, my husband would send me a lot of flowers. And I was like, this is so beautiful. And I love flowers. But for me, it's more meaningful if you go to the grocery store and you see the chocolate that I like, and then you pick it up for me yourself instead of asking your assistant to send me flowers.
Yeah. Or see that I'm really busy and help out where I'm like, where I could use a little extra. Just see you is really nice to be seen, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have to make sure we're seeing others. And I feel like sometimes I've noticed, like work or around people I know, I was like, wait, I haven't been seeing that person fully. I should probably embrace them, even though they have walls up, right? And they have things they don't want to really be seen for. But I feel like it's important to see them for who they are, and not always easy, right? Because that person could be moody.
Yeah.
Trolling or just crazy. But, and we were talking about my family before, and I think about my brother's dad, which I call my dad. I wish I could talk to him and ask more questions because he was adopted. And I kind of heard stories growing up, and I think I would always ask those kind of stories. So it'd be nice to know more of those stories. And I don't think there's ever going to be a way because his mom passed away years ago. So there's not going to be a way to hear his whole entire story. So, and I feel like when you hear other people's stories or where they come from, then maybe you can let go of like controlling or feeling like it needs to be a certain way. But it does hurt to get hurt by other people for sure.
Yeah. But you make a great point. Sometimes we wait to get to know somebody and then that person is not here anymore. So don't wait. Get curious with the people around you. Ask them questions. Don't be so quick to judge or try to fix them, but really meet them where they are and ask them questions and try to figure out why they are that way. What's their story? I remember a long time ago, I went to an event and there was a speaker there and he said, you can never hate somebody if you know their story. And that is so true. We are so quick to judge without knowing what that person is carrying. And I'm always curious. So that's That's probably you and I have podcasts because we're always curious to learn more and to grow and to find out things about the person that is in front of us, not just how they look or how pretty they are or how many diplomas they have in the wall, but who that person is in essence. That person is the way it is, and how can we bring something to their life instead of criticizing them or look at their flaws. So I think you bring a point that is very important. Don't waste your time. Maybe when you finally decide to ask the question, that person won't be around for you to get the answer.
Yeah, I mean, that's so true. Like sometimes I felt like I'm jealous for a moment of somebody or some reason, and then I have to like question myself, why am I jealous? Am I working on that part of me? Is that part of me that's out in them? Like I want to be like that. So maybe that's true, right? But I was just thinking about judgment, right? And then I could judge you because you have all the things that I want, or I can judge them because they have all the things that I want. But it's like, but then I'm not really seeing Claudia or anybody else, because I'm judging all the things somebody has that I don't have, or the things that they don't have. And I can see that a lot of times all around me, and just they have this, their life is so much better because they have what I don't have, but maybe I don't even want what you have or someone else.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, then I like close my eyes or think about that judgment or where I'm feeling lack. I'm like, wait, I don't even want that, right? And it could even just be the flowers that you're always getting from your husband. Maybe I always wanted that. All right. But maybe you just say something to your partner and be like, that's what I would love. It would be so nice if you thought of me and had these once in a while.
Right.
Right.
Well, to be honest, my husband used to do that. So then my husband is very black and white. So I said to him once, I'd rather you not doing that and then just get me a chocolate or whatever. I said to him. So he stopped, but he stopped. So I was like, okay, no flowers. She goes, what? I don't understand. You want flowers? You don't want flowers. So I found this company that you pay once a month, and they send you flowers once a month. So I start sending flowers to myself.
I was really confused.
Flowers coming from? I'm sending flowers to myself because you don't send me flowers anymore. And he's like, I don't understand. I can do anything right here. But yeah, you gotta find a balance. But using your voice for sure helps.
I love that. Yeah, guys sometimes we got to just say what we want. That's for sure.
Gosh, yeah, they don't get it. You don't try to prompt them, okay?
Yeah, who knows? You might get something else. You might get a bag of potatoes next.
I want to ask you a last question. If you could go back in time to that 5-year-old that was having such a different life and such different circumstances, what would you tell her?
I actually had fun when I was 5 walking to school, which was probably almost a mile. And I don't even think I'd ever let my kids walk to school now, maybe. But I think I was still having a lot of fun then. And that's when my brother was born when I was 5. So that was exciting. I think some of the things that I saw at early ages, maybe I did think about this. Instead of like living in that memory of some things that I saw, I was like, here, Heather, my 5-year-old self, let's go. You don't have to stay here anymore in this memory. It can just be a part of you, but you don't have to like live there anymore. So, and these were just like things that were uncomfortable or I didn't want to be around. So that's pretty exciting to just be like, I don't have to hold on to that anymore. And I think we do hold on to those thoughts without even knowing it. And this is when I was getting quiet and just really listening. And I had no idea I was still observing something I didn't want to see, especially at 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yes, we don't have to carry that with us.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Heather, it's so much fun to talk to you. I love talking to you. We can talk for 2 more hours for sure. I want to invite everyone to go to listen to her. What's That Whisper is the name of her podcast. Her information will be in the bottom. And as always, I have my newsletter coming every week with more details about the episode of the week. If you want to subscribe, the description is in the bottom of the show. And please send me your feedback. I always love to hear about you. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you, Claudia. It was a joy to be here. And you're right, we could talk for hours.
Thank you all for listening to the Don't Shrink to Fit podcast. If you like this episode, please write a juicy comment below and subscribe to my podcast. Remember, we can only fly if we embrace each other. Until next week, be happy, be safe, and be kind to yourself.